A few months ago, I fell on a surprising research. It said that stories are 22 times more memorable than facts. And thinking about it, I realized that the deepest actions of human beings are driven by stories. We live for stories. The story of who we want to become and how we want to be remembered. We love for stories. The story of who we want to be with and the memories we want to remember. It's just natural that if you're a non-profit seeking to get more donations, more volunteers, or just to spread the word about what you're doing, storytelling and better stories can help you reach this goal. My name is Momo Bertrand and I work here at Community Boost Consulting. And today I want to share 5 tips which you can use to become a better storyteller for your non-profit. So the first tip is to use better characters. At its core, a story is just a bunch of characters going from one mood to another, usually from sad to happy. And when you look at non-profits, most non-profits just use one form of characters. It's the poor child who needs shoes or water, or the poor fish that's dying, or the dog that needs to be adopted or something. But I think it's really time that we used different characters. So as a non-profit, you could talk about the story of your volunteers. Why did they choose to volunteer with your organization? You could talk about your board members. Why did they choose to join your organization? You could talk about your employees. People who work in non-profits have amazing stories. Extremely talented people who could have done anything, but they decided to work with your non-profit. So using them as characters for your storytelling can improve your impact and improve your reach. So the second tip is to adjust your stories to different social media campaigns. Let's say you're creating a video that tells the story of a recent activity you just did, and you want to share it on Snapchat and on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can put a video of 2 minutes or 3 minutes because people are professional and they want to watch a video for a long time. But on Snapchat, videos are limited to 1 minute and people usually watch 10 to 15 seconds. So you may want to make your story a little bit shorter on Snapchat to adjust to that younger demographic. The third tip is to test different forms of stories at different points of your digital marketing funnel. You're familiar with the digital marketing funnel, which goes from awareness to consideration to action. So let's say you run a pet adoption agency and you're doing a new campaign. At the awareness level, which is people who don't know about your organization, you may talk just, hey, we are an awareness agency. This is why we started doing what we are doing. But once you get to the action level where you want people to donate or to volunteer, the trick is to mix statistics or facts with the narratives. So you may say something like, hey, last month we helped 10,000 dogs. Next month we want to help 20,000 dogs. This is the story of how it went. And at the end of the story, you say, hey, please help us reach this goal. So story plus fact at the action level, that's the trick. So the fourth tip is to use Instagram and Facebook stories, because not all your stories are meant to go directly on your feed, which is like posting normally on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. So Instagram stories can really be fun. So you know about Instagram stories, you can see James there. It's pretty cool. You just create a story, you're talking, and I don't know, there's a pet that came to the office, or we have a new sofa, or look at us, it's fun to volunteer. So it can be really, really be exciting. Use Instagram stories, they can be fun. This is actually on Instagram, guys. And my fifth tip is not really a tip, but I just want you to remember the first time you fell in love because of a story. When someone told you were the best person on earth and they told you such a beautiful story that you felt like you were unique and special. And that story should be the standard for all the other stories you're going to tell for your nonprofit, because every story you tell matters.